Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Tea with Crama. My name is Chris. I'll be one of your hosts today, and I am joined by my best friend, Emma.
What's up, y'all?
Well, for a second, I thought your mic went out. I was like, not again.
Not again. Sorry. Am I here? Hello? Hello, testing. 1, 2.
You know, some days the technology just be really coming for you. So it's been that way, but we got it working. It's going to be great. Today, we're doing a long-awaited 3-year check-in about the episode that started it all. The very first topic, self-care. And now, 3 years later, we're going to revisit self-care and see, has anything changed? You know, is therapy still expensive? Is that why we're still doing the podcast? And what other things are really just helping us out with that self-care journey that we've been on this entire time. So before we get started, we do still, in fact, have our tea checks every episode. It's still true 3 years later. Still do it. Mm-hmm. So Emma, what tea did you bring today?
I am drinking a fruit and herbal infusion. Oh, I don't know why I said that. I'm drinking a Wait.
Oh, no. I think it's more than the technology.
It's my brain. Okay, I'm drinking a Twinings. I still don't know how to say it 3 years later. Lemon and ginger. It's from their fruit and herbal infusion collection and known for warmth and comfort because I almost lost my voice yesterday because I was screaming so loud during our house day, cheering on my team. Yeah. So I just needed some warmth and comfort. No! Oh my gosh, I don't even want to talk about it. Like, at one point, so we were like doing really well physically, and then we got to like this car competition where they were seeing how far the car would go. And so our team didn't get the assignment that it was to see how far it was going to go. We just thought it was how fast it was going to go. So we got down there the fastest, but we did not get the farthest. So out of 12 teams, the winning team won 3,600 centimeters. Okay. Our team came in 4th place at 1,800 centimeters. It wasn't even close. We lost. Like, it's fine. It is what it is. Anyway, I'm not salty. We won last year. That's all that matters. This year, it's looking a little shaky, but we'll get there. What are you drinking today?
Today, I have another tea from the Spice and Tea Exchange in Fort Worth. This one is an Emperor's Chai black tea, and I got it because in the store, they let you smell all of the teas, and the smell of this one was very powerful. It was so good that I was wildly excited to get it. And then it's kind of been a letdown ever since.
Oh, no.
If you have loose leaf teas, you know that when you get to the bottom of the loose leaf, it tends to have a bit more like finely ground, almost powdery things, which can be kind of annoying when you're trying to make it because it gets into the tea. And then at the end, it feels like you're drinking tea and powder. It's a little weird. And so it feels like this entire bag is kind of like the bottom bag. You know, they were in the big barrel.
It's the bottom of the barrel.
Mm-hmm. The literal bottom of the barrel is what it feels like. It's just a lot of the little pieces. And so I've had it all week and it's been doing that all week and it's really annoying and I don't really like that part. But the flavors also kind of came in a little weak. So that wasn't good either. So I was hoping that it would be at least a 4-star chai, but it's like 3 stars. It's 3 stars. I would recommend it maybe to like a beginner who doesn't like the spicy part of chai, but that's my favorite part of chai is that it's a little spicy. So I'm kind of sad that that's missing, but it's 3 stars. I don't know if I would get it again. I don't know. My favorite is still the tea from Independence Coffee Co. So
that's
maybe they've just really set the bar. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is.
Because the package says incredibly aromatic version, which yeah, you got that. But you also have to be incredibly delicious.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's okay. The smells are really good. I will give it that for sure. That's why it's not lower. 3 stars though, overall in execution. So that's the tea that I have today.
And that's the tea on the tea.
3 years later, still doing tea checks. Even upgraded. We don't even have soda no more.
Yes. Thank you, Jeffrey, for calling me out in the first 20 episodes. I know. It was a hard time, okay? I was moving. There were lots of things. I couldn't find my hot water heater. Anyways, besides the point. Today, we are coming back in self-care 2.0. It really should be 3.0 because we should have checked in every year, but that's okay. So Christopher, tell the listeners, what is the purpose of this episode and why now?
So I promise it's not just like a 3-year thing. This episode is coming in just because it was a need that I had. So I have actually been not doing so well in my self-care journey. And so part of doing things better is taking some time to pause and figure out what's been going on. How do you reflect on that? And then setting intentions moving forward. It's definitely a common theme that we've had for like our vision boards, for example. And so I think it was that time. It was that time to stop, for me anyway, to stop, reevaluate where I am, what's going on. Am I still staying true to the things that I said all those episodes ago? Or is there some realignment that needs to happen so that I can continue to move forward? Just because in my mind, I felt like episode 1, I wasn't doing all that bad in the self-care journey. I was doing okay, a good 4 out of 5 stars there. And now recently, I feel like I'm at like 2 out of 5 stars. And I don't always necessarily know exactly what happened. So I had to go back and like listen to the episode and consider what was going on at that time. And then from there, we'll be setting some intentions moving forward. So that was the real reason for this self-care check 2.0. But yeah, we probably should have been doing it a little bit more frequently. But yeah, it's okay. We had other ideas.
We had lots of other things going on. We wanted to talk about games. We wanted to talk about books. We wanted to talk about all the things. Yeah, you know what's so funny is because I didn't realize that that's why you wanted to have the check. When you said, hey, let's do a self-care check-in, I really thought it was like, I'm doing so great with my self-care. I want to check in about it. And then when I went back to listen to the episode, I was like, hey, I think I'm doing like a little bit better. Not so much, but a little bit of progress. So I was like, oh man, Chris is going to come in with this episode. He's going to be like, well, I'm killing the self-care game. And I'm going to be like, yeah, it's kind of same, but not really over here. So that's good. Now we're both on the same page as to why we are doing the episode. And I'm here for it. So I guess let's start from the first episode to now. What is still true from the first episode for you?
I think things that are still true for me is that I'm doing my best, kind of, I think. I'm really I think about self-care a lot. That is true. And there was a part where we were talking about how like my physical space is very much a reflection of how I'm doing up here in my noggin. And yeah, it's been not great. I just feel like everything is cluttered and kind of not super organized the way I usually have it. And so I think that was really like the little alarm bell in my head was like, why are you struggling to clean up so hard? Like, what is happening? And so, yeah, in that regard, I think that was the trigger for me. I'm still trying to do my best, but I don't know if there's just the lack of energy that comes from getting older or what it is. But man, I was listening to the episode. I was like, oh, you gotta calm down, bro. Why are you like this? You're doing so many things. What is happening? And so now, not as much things. I don't go to the nail salon anywhere near as much. I don't do a lot of those things. I don't do the yoga anymore. I don't go to like the gym or work out or do anything like that. So yeah, my journey has not been on an upward trajectory. So things that are still true from episode 1, I take good care of my hair.
Yes, you do. Hey, I think that's like still because at that point, you weren't even like thinking about growing out your hair. You were still like getting it cut when you could, but it wasn't like an active decision yet to like grow it out completely, right?
Mm-hmm. I didn't decide to grow it out completely until I couldn't go to the shop anymore because of COVID. And I was like, well, I guess this is my life now.
This is where we are going to live. Yeah. So I think for myself, looking back at that first episode, it was really funny because I was like, wow, I was really not in a bad place, but yeah, your girl was in not a great place, right? I was like spending a lot of money all the time. That I did not have. And consider that self-care. I also don't go to the nail salon as often. I think if I were still in the States, I would still go as often as I do because I do just like consider that like a form of self-care and I enjoy getting my nails done. But here it's like almost 3 times the price just to get a manicure. So like when I went home over the summer, I got my nails done twice. I was like, I can afford to get it done twice versus like the one time that I would get it done in Japan. So like in Japan, I get it done like maybe once every 3 months. Like when the gel is completely grown out, it's really bad. But you gotta do what you gotta do. I think I'm a lot more conscious of the way I spend money. Also, it helps that I don't fit into a lot of stores here. So you can't just like randomly buy clothes from the $5 section at Target because Target doesn't exist. And even though if there was a $5 section, I wouldn't fit in it anyway. Yeah, I think overall, like that same intention is still there, right? Like we're trying our best. We are in new positions. We are figuring out life and still going along with it. Therapy is still very expensive. I recently did look into like expat therapy and I actually like reached out for a consultation and the woman emailed me back and she's like, yeah, so the consultation fee is $350 and then every appointment after that is $200 USD. Okay. Just to like give you guys some context, currently the yen is doing so poorly. I think it's like 62 cents, 62 yen to $1. Can you fact check me on that? You pulled it up, right? Like 500 yen is 361. Is that what you said? 341.
500 yen was $3.41.
Yeah. So when she said $200, I said, oh no, that's not going to happen. Sorry. Thank you for your help, but no.
To clarify, $1 is 147 yen.
So she said she wanted 200 USD out of me. How much yen would that have been, Christopher? Put it in.
I'm scared. Oh no, that would have been almost 30,000 yen.
Oh yeah, see, look, do you know what I can do with 30,000 yen? A lot more than that. That's 3 weeks of groceries right there. Probably almost a month of groceries, because Isaac is a very good spender when he goes grocery shopping.
I was like, food. My first thought was food I could eat with that much money.
You know what else counts as therapy?
Gosh.
Eating. Just kidding.
Sometimes not, actually. I will say, yeah, therapy is not, I can't say it's not that expensive, but I've really committed this year to looking into it. But the sessions are looking at like $70, $80 with health insurance per session. What? And then some places are like, yes, and you'll need at least one session a week, especially getting started. First of all,
y'all ain't gonna tell me
who has $280 just out here? And like even the BetterHelp, which I know has been a very popular telemedicine app that people have been jumping on since the pandemic, is $80 a session, one session per week.
With insurance?
The insurance doesn't cover BetterHelp.
Oh.
There is a virtual health option with our health insurance, and that is $70 per session.
So even at like minimum.
Yeah, $70 per session. And I don't know the optimal amount of sessions in a month to actually gain benefit from it. But also I was thinking about it, I was like, once a week, that sounds exhausting that I have to talk to this person for a whole hour every week.
And I'm gonna get my 60 minutes. Best believe that.
I will not be late. I will not be, I will be in the lobby. Either if it's a virtual session, I'll be in that little virtual lobby. Okay, I'll be ready. Now, I'm going to talk the whole 60 minutes, but that does not mean I'm going to have the energy for it. But I'm going to make it happen if I'm going to be spending $70 per session. So it's not $200, I will say, but still. Y'all got health insurance that'll cover it?
I mean, with the health insurance too, well, health insurance doesn't believe in, Japanese people don't really, that's like a whole different topic. That could be a whole different episode on self-care and culture.
That hustle culture, yeah, you mentioned it in the very first, we weren't, really deep into...
I did.
Deep into living in Japan.
I was out here talking about Audre Lorde in that first episode. I was like, and I still hold true. I still stand by that, especially after working in like the space that I've been working in. Thankfully, my school is very good about self-care and well-being. You know, there have been many times where I like look busted and beat up, and my principal has been like, "Hey, do you need to take the rest of the afternoon off? Like, we'll find the coverage for your last class. Like, go home. You need it." And I was like, I just always look like this. I like don't wear makeup, and it's not like I'm not wearing makeup right now. I just like, this is what my face looks like, guys, in the winter.
This is my winter face. I know it's reminiscent of Halloween, but I promise it's not.
I'm fine, guys. I'm thriving. Yeah, there was definitely like a little bit of that. And I was just sitting in Rosa's room today, or not today, but a couple days ago, and she had that Audre Lorde quote up. And I was like, yes to saying no, yes to resting, yes to boundaries. But yeah, so like, if it doesn't look like that anymore, so what do you want your self-care to look like as we move forward into this year of your life? Also, BT dubs, Christopher just turned the big, his prefrontal cortex fully developed. He can now rent a car for more than 3 years without needing to take out an extra fee.
Maybe that's the problem. My prefrontal cortex is done and it thinks too much about how much everything just kind of sucks all the time. And that's part of it. I mean, when you think about, part of it is like the last year or so has been just very hard for everybody. There's been crazy amounts of inflation. The cost of housing has gone up exponentially. Places are out here talking about, here's your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% raise. Good luck. Cost of living is going up 10, 15, 20, 30%. And we're just trying to figure it out. Then you got people still writing articles about, why don't millennials have homes? Why is the first home owner, the average age of the first time home buyer 36? I'm like, well, who has money to put down a down payment when y'all are raising the interest rates every other month? And then even without the raised interest rates, the mortgages, if you just look at like the prices of a home, like the little history that they have on like Zillow or Redfin or anything, and then you just like watch how it will, goes on a normal trajectory. And then in the past few years, houses like just doubled. It's insane. And then you want to wonder why. Oh, why don't we have the houses? You know what? I don't care. Give me my stupid avocado toast. I can't afford a house anyway. Might as well eat well. This is nonsense. And so just to think that, you're struggling anyway. So I think that was my thing. It's just, I'm going to struggle anyway. So like, what is the point? I'm trying to refine the point and the purpose and the meaning. Then there's job shortages everywhere, every time, all the time. And so there's not enough people to do anything. I'm like, what is happening? Where did all the people go? I mean, we kind of know where the people went.
We know where they are.
COVID. But still, like, it's been very difficult. I think, at least for me, I will know. It's just been difficult the past few years with like all of the other stuff. And then I moved into an apartment that I feel like does not get as much natural light as I need to thrive as a human being. And I think a vitamin D deficiency is what it is. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Technically, I got a blood work test done.
What'd they say?
The vitamin D came back normal, so I don't know. That's what they said. So
could just be some good old-fashioned sad. Some seasonal affective depression. And that's okay. You can sit in those feelings.
So now I know, though, I do know that's a major box on my future home purchase is natural light. Windows. That's massive. I cannot do one of those basement dungeon homes.
Yeah.
Where they have like one tiny ceiling lamp or one tiny ceiling window. It's not for me. North facing, not for me. Can't do it. I am I'm a south facing kid. I like all the sunlight. I really want to live in a house where the blinds kind of open up slowly in the morning.
As it like enters?
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
And it's kind of like from the side and just literally waking up with the sun. Because at least then, like, yeah, you're still a little bit tired or whatever. But I don't know, when you wake up with the sunlight, it's just different. You're just like, I'm awake naturally. Like, I chose this life. I'm just awake now.
Yeah. That's like one of the things I love about like camping and stuff. I don't realize how much I don't wake up naturally with the sun until I'm out there and I'm like, I'm awake and I feel rejuvenated. I look at the clock. I'm like, it's 4:45 a.m. WTF. But I'm already awake. So I gotta there's something about the sun. I also enjoy just like basking in the sun. I think that's so important.
Well, people don't live in boxes, not like naturally. That's not a natural occurrence. We built boxes to live in.
How can I bask in a box?
You can't bask in a box. Exactly. There's no basking in boxes.
That's going to be our title for this episode.
But in any case, that's what I know. All the normal stuff. Well, most of it's normal. I think just the added world stress really just was like, for me, that was like the little tipping point. Clearly, I had to take a whole social media detox just to deal with it. So I am really, really trying to be more intentional about getting back to the things that I enjoy. So recently, I tried to do yoga. Oh my God. You don't realize like how much you lose your mobility over time? Oh my God. I tried to do, what is it? Like you just, like the forward fold. And my back was like, what are you doing? Why are you like this? And then my legs were like, no. I was trying to do like warrior pose and my legs were like, this is stupid. This hurts. Why are you doing this? And I was like, yes, this is, okay, clearly I need to. So like the running was fun. I'm going to keep doing it. But on the off days, I really like the yoga because I think it really helps with mobility. And I know as you get older, that's definitely something that you have to work on, like very intentionally. And so I really want to work on mobility. So keeping up with some yoga at least like 15 to 20 minutes on the days that I'm not running. And then I still want to run. And then I know that people like lift weights and stuff. So I might try to do that on the other days. But I think that'll take care of like the physical. And then hopefully, I'm hoping, just start an area at a time. Get off the couch, get out I actually need to stop going out into the world because I think I'm at that place where you were, where I was just out spending money just because it was like that immediate gratification. Like I'm outside, I'm with people, like I'm doing stuff. Like it wasn't like, it's not actually addressing the root issue. It was just a quick little fix to something.
I have something that could fix that. Would you like to look at the yen exchange rate again? Inflation. That'll help you. Yeah, mine was forceful. Mine was also like, yeah, I had to think about it because, I had a husband coming to Japan and everything like that. So I think that also helped. But yeah, sometimes the force, you just gotta stop. Or not even that. Like if you're gonna go out, like go out and do something, like go to the park or go to the trails, which is like, I feel like not super accessible in Fort Worth, but like you can make it happen,
Mm-hmm. Get some vitamin D.
Get that vitamin D. I feel like also too with you, like if you work on the physical, if that's your focus for this month or your focus for this upcoming however long, don't put a time limit on it, then like kind of like the mental will kind of come with it, hopefully, right? Like, oh, I feel like I'm in this space now, and like mentally, hopefully that'll like also, and then emotionally and then spiritually. Someone was very proud about their chakras being all open in the first episode while I had my block chakras over here.
I almost took a quiz again to see.
I think you should.
Are they still open or did they close back up? Like what happened?
Because someone was very, very proud of his open chakras.
Well, they were very open at the time. I don't know what they're doing now.
Yeah, it actually made me really sad, like listening to the first episode with like hearing about how fit I was, because I so miss like going to CrossFit. Like that was like such a safe place for me, I feel like, and I really did depend on those like relationships that I was building in there and just like the relationship I was having with my body. Like now I am, back to being like one of my smallest, but that was what I had said in the first episode. Like I wasn't my smallest, but I was definitely my fittest. And now I'm like probably in like the past 5 or 10 years, like the smallest that I've been. And I do a lot of walking. So I just had to like really reconfigure how that looked like for me. So I started hiking, which was like really weird for me because I was never much of a hiker, and started trekking with my students, which then made me want to continue trekking. All of a sudden I got this like outdoor bug, which is so weird because we're not outdoor people like that. So, but it's been so good. Like I started camping and I went hiking, and Isaac and I have started to hike too because, as you know, hiking is for free. So we love a good free activity. So like, I think that's how my self-care looks different now, is like, I can also feel when I've been drained and I just need to be out in nature, like really just absorbing, not being in the city, which like, I feel like I don't really even live in a city, but I can tell the difference when I go out into the mountains versus like being where we are. But I think emotionally and spiritually, I'm definitely more tired. And there's like a lot of different factors with that too, right? Like I feel like it's the world, it's living in a new place, it's balancing being a wife, balancing being a teacher, balancing all these new roles that I've taken on, and then learning how to say no. So I think in the future, that's what my self-care is going to look like, because even when I was in Texas, I was that person that like admin could be like, hey, can you do this? And I was like, yeah, sure. Or like, I would just do it because it was more effective and it was more efficient when I did it. Right. And now being in these like positions, like I've had people encouraging me like, hey, it's okay to say no. Like, you can say no. It's okay. Like, it's definitely okay to say no. And I'm just like, it's hard for me because that's not my nature to say no. But that has definitely been something that I think moving forward, that's like, I want to continue working on that. I also like, hip strength, hip health. People talk about their hips all the time. You gotta like stretch that stuff. I'm very weak in my hips, which I like, and it like really does crumble the rest of your body if you are not strong in your hips. So I think looking forward in our next check-in, hopefully I have more stretchy hips.
Yoga really does help with hip flexors.
Yeah.
They have whole exercises that are specific for, but just like the general act of stretching that part of your body out and then holding certain positions, it just really helps. Because my hip flexors have been not happy, very angry with me, because I've been stretching really intensively since high school, and then I just like stopped out of nowhere. Gotta get back into it.
When you would stretch before you would run, it was like not enough though?
Oh yeah, that was probably fine. I just haven't been doing that. I've just been running.
Oh, that's probably not good for you either.
Yeah, I've just been like out here just running. I was like, okay, my shoes are on. Goodbye.
Yeah, like that's always like, that was always my least favorite part about like going to CrossFit was the like the warm-ups and the cool down. But like now my body, like I understand why you need to do the things. Like, yes, it's boring, but like it's so important. And I think it really does like play into like how strong you are is how flexible you are.
That's so funny because those were my favorite parts. I hated the actual workout, but when they were like, yes, stretch all these parts of your body, I was like, yes, feel the stretch. This is incredible. In fact, guys, if you want to go deeper, try it this way.
I wonder if you would like Pilates, because that's like strength conditioning on top of flexibility. Have you tried Pilates before?
No, but I've heard of it.
And some of them, like, I mean, at least what I've seen from the Kardashians and other people on TikTok, they use like these like machines that like stretch you as well. But I know there's like Pilates that looks kind of more like yoga where it's just, using your body and stuff. I think you should look into that. I feel like you'd be very good at it.
Sounds really intense. Maybe I will.
Yeah. Okay. So moving forward, which is our first space that we're working on?
I am really going to help my body not feel as old and tight as it currently feels. So I think really getting back into my yoga practice, running, maybe not as many times a day as I was also it's winter, it's cold. Cold running is not fun, but still getting out there, moving my body, doing something out in the world. And then those are my two physical things. And then that's it. Actually, I'm going to bite size it. I'm going to start there and then we'll see what we can add and where I need to go for those next steps. So I've identified, keep with the movement, add some intentional stretching via yoga. I did enroll in a stress management meditation course for the next month.
Okay.
For the free. It's on Headspace, so we'll see. I think that'll help, actually. Meditation was really nice. I haven't been doing it intentionally recently either. So I think this came really at a good time. It was very important. I'm glad that you encountered Audre Lorde again. That really solidified that, like, this time, when your real life coincides with the conversations you're having. I was like, yes, I love that when that happens. And so those are my commitments are getting back into yoga. My intentions are to take a stress management meditation class and continuing moving. What are your commitments and intentions moving forward?
Yeah, I think my commitment is the same in yours with like not necessarily yoga, but like Isaac's very flexible, which like people get very surprised because he's such a big guy. But he like knows how to move his body. And so when he tries to help me, he's like, I just think it's odd that you don't know, like, it feels like you don't know your body. And I was like, yeah, I think you're right. I think I don't actually know my body, and that's also a relationship building as well, right? So that is definitely on my list. Like we have been trying to make a plan as to like, okay, when you come home from work, like you're so exhausted, like maybe before bed, we do a 10, 15 minute, like just stretching, just like really getting ready and winding down. So that's like my first commitment. My intention though, moving forward is I want to continue to reflect. Yeah. Continue to reflect and journal. I know I always talk about journaling, guys, and I was doing really good until I wasn't. yeah, so I just want to get back into that because like I really do believe and I love reading like what I wrote in the past, and so I just need to like keep pushing myself like, oh, continue to like reflect because, you know, future you likes reading about past you and what you're going through. That, and I want to continue to hike at least once a month. So last month we went on a hike. I almost died. I was like on the verge of crying at a certain point, and Isaac was like, we gotta keep going because you need to train because I have another really big 6-day hike coming up at the end of this month. So I'm like nervous for that. So I've been really trying to train because the first hike I went on with the kids, it was not great. So yeah.
Not cute.
It was not a cute moment. Me and my 45-pound bag were not happy with each other at the end.
But it's okay. You made it. And now you like doing it. So it'll keep happening.
Yeah. And I think because like I had built up to that last year. I had done 2 hikes with the kids. And this year I went on the first one. And I was like, oh yeah, like I'm so ready. Like last year was so easy. Not easy, but it was like, it was good. It was challenging. And I swear that first day in, I was like, nah, we're not going to make it, y'all. Take me out. Call the helicopter.
I am going to be lifted up out of this place. It'd be like that sometimes. It's all right. We have our intentions. We have our goals. It'll be all right. We might have to put them like as little snippets in future episodes, little bits, maybe not full episode check-ins, but just a little something. Like, Are we doing it? What's the progress looking like? So
tea check-in and self-care check-in.
Boom. We might have to do that, you know, little mid-episode breaks and stuff. But in any case, it is time for our
rapid fire question. Bum, 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 bum. One thing that did change was we had 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have 1 question each. This question comes from Isaac. I asked him really quickly, give me a rapid fire question. He said, if you had to choose one of your fingers or toes to lose, which one would you choose and why?
If I had to pick a finger or a toe.
Yes. Out of the 20 that exist, which one are you choosing to lose?
One of the toes that doesn't have anything to do with balance?
I think they all have to do with balance.
Well, I guess I'm going to be a little out of balance.
You wouldn't lose a finger?
It's going to be a toe. No, I need all of my fingers.
Do you?
I mean, I guess like the most useless one is the ring finger.
I was going to say the pinky.
Oh, no, you definitely need the pinky.
For what?
For, you know, like the final grip on stuff. So I feel like you need the index and the middle finger and then the pinky to round it out.
I like raise my pinky with everything I pick up.
Well, fine. You can cut off your pinky.
Yeah, and I feel like aesthetically it would be the least jarring to not have.
There's no gap.
Like, we had a teacher in high school who didn't have her ring finger, and then when the Single Lady song came, she was also like really good about not having that finger, but she'd be like, oh, the single lady, she's like, put your hands up, and she's like, I don't even have that finger. But like, old girl had been married 3 times, and we're like, maybe it's a good reason. Maybe God's trying to tell you something.
Marriage is not for you, ma'am. Oh, it'd be like that. Okay, my question is, describe your mood right now in 1 word.
Tired.
Oh my God, same. Same.
I don't know if it has to do with like that we're on opposite times. No, but I'm just like, the past 3 weeks have just been really tiring. Like, I had my October break. Thankfully, you're about to have your November break coming up soon, so you will have reprieve very soon, Christopher. I needed that October break. I felt so bad when Isaac and I stayed in for more days than we were supposed to, but I was like exhausted. My body was so tired and it needed a break. So I hope you get a break soon.
Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Well, Emma, where can people find the podcast?
You can find our podcast on Instagram, Twitter, and newly on Facebook at The Tea with Crema. You can also find our podcast anywhere that you can stream your podcast. If you'd like to buy us a cup of tea, you can Venmo us at The Tea with Crema. We hope to see you next time. Bye!